Howdy ho, Stampers. Today we're going to do a Peekaboo window card, and this is the card that we're going to do. We'll show you the inside of it for the Peekaboo and the window part of it. So you open it up, and all the way through you get some good things. But here's your window, and here's the piece that you saw through the window. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to call one part of our card the base card, and one part of the card the anchor card. This is going to be the anchor part of it. Okay, that is this part right down here, okay, and that's what our base card is going to be based on, okay? And here is our base card. This is cut 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 3 1/2 and 7, okay? So we have a larger part over here than we do here and here, so that we can fold it up and still have a little bit left over to do our ribbon, okay? So our base card is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 3 1/2 by 7. The first thing that we need to do to our base card is to punch a 1 3/8 inch hole punch. Now this is the bigger of the two square punches. Just put it in, center it from side to side, and punch your hole. Okay? We're going to set that there for just a moment. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of early Espresso cardstock, and we're going to use the 1 1/4 inch punch, and we're going to punch a 1 1/4 inch square. Now the next thing that you can do, or the next thing that we are going to do, is to take our new cutter. And I just wanted to show you a couple of the features really fast. The first thing that you need to know, and the most important thing that you need to know, is that there is a little, when you get it, there's a little tag that's right here. You're going to take that off. But you need to take off more than that. There is a film on this piece right here, and this one over here. And let me just show you. I left this one on just to show you. I don't know if you can see this or not, but here is the little piece that you need to take off. So what it is, I just kind of scrape it with my hand and just pull on it, okay? And it's a protector. But if you don't take that off, it's going to end up getting wrinkled and ripped, and you're going to think that there's something wrong with your cutter. The new features on the Stampin' Up! Cutter are amazing. We've got every 1/4 of an inch. You've got lines. This part over here doesn't stop at 3/4 of an inch. It goes over to 1 1/4 inch. Our base is bigger right now. We go over to 6 1/2 or 6 1/4 here. There's your 6 1/2. So you never lose a piece when you're going over. On our arm right here, there's a little kickstand on the bottom so that you can take and you can lift it up. And we never have, and so then when you're doing this, this piece never bends down, so you never lose your, the straightness of your cardstock. Okay. Another thing that you're going to notice is that our guide opens to the right instead of the left. We have a cutter and a scorer, and each one of them goes up and down so far that you don't have to remove them to do a 12 by 12 paper. Another thing that I really like about this is that you have on the bottom storage, okay? Yes, it does hold Tootsie Rolls, it holds your bone folder, it holds your cutty thing, and when we get them, it'll hold new blades. Okay, so this is your cutter. I just wanted to kind of give you a quick overview of it. We're going to take our cutter, and remember this is the 1 1/4 inch square that I cut out of here. This is a piece that goes inside here, and it does come out, so you can switch it around either side to either side. But what I want to do is I want to take this cut right here. Okay, and I'm going to put it on my 1/4 inch mark. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to put the inside of that cut on my 1/4 inch mark. I'm going to take my cutter, which is the darker one, and cut down. I'm going to take it, I'm going to put that inside cut on my 1/4 inch mark again, and I'm going to cut. And then I'm going to take that 1/4, or I'm going to take that inside cut again, 1/4. Whoops. Let's get that straight, okay? And cut. And then I'm going to take my 1/4 inch and cut. Oops. Okay, so there we have a perfect square within a square. Now my blade is getting dull, and the new blades do not come out until probably the first part of December. So what I like to do is to just take my sander and just sand off the edges. It's a way to make your blades go a little bit longer so you don't have to buy them as often. And I do this quite often. And then I'll do it to the inside also. Okay, so there's that. Now we have our window. So the next thing that I'm going to do, the window actually goes on the inside of your card. Okay, so that's the inside right here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to put a little bit of our adhesive, and I like to use the Tombow adhesive that we sell, and you're just going to take and put a little bit around the outside. Now the reason I'm using this instead of snail is because I want to be able to slide it. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to take my frame and I'm going to lay it down where I think it's centered, but then you want to actually turn it over and voila, it's not centered. But because I use that Tombow glue, I can take and I can just adjust it until it is centered. Okay, we're just going to slide it until it is nice and centered. Window. Okay? Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the sled, okay, and what I mean by that, okay, so I'm going to open up my card because I want to show you my card all the way along. We need to actually put the focal point, okay, we're going to stamp the focal point next, all right. So what I did was I took a piece of my crumb cake, which is 2 by 3 1/4, and I took and I stamped it with my sled. Again, my cutter is a little bit ragged. It needs to be changed. So I'm just going to sand off those edges. Okay. There we go. We got some sanded off edges. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sled and I'm going to ink it up in my early espresso and stamp it down. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is just assemble that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take my snail and assemble that. Because this is a vintage card, you probably could get away with the ragged edges, but I'm just going to take and sand them all down. Great little tip. All right, now the next thing that we need to do is to glue it onto our piece right here. Now you want to make sure you get it on the right side, okay? You're not going to put it in the window, but what I do is I take and I lay it on where the window is. I put my snail on the back of the card, okay? I center it. I want the bird to show on this one, okay? So I center it where it needs to go, and then I just lightly press it. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to open it up and just make sure that it is centered. And it was, but I just want to, you can take, so that's why you don't want to press it down really hard. At this point, I would take and I would color my image in, but when I close my card now, I have my image on the front, okay? Then we would do our sentiment, and the sentiment would be on this side over here, okay? This one right here, okay, what I did was, I took a piece of early espresso and I cut it 3 by 3 1/2, and I ran it through the one of the designer folders, okay? And then what I did, just to keep the card very vintagey, I ripped it, and I always like to rip toward me so that the fuzzy side is up, okay? Just want to take and rip this all the way around. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just take and rip it all the way around. Okay, we're working on this piece right here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and I'm going to adhere that to my card. Okay, take the fatter side and put it down. There we go. Okay, the next thing that I did was I cut out a pair of skates. I just stamped them with the early espresso, and then I cut them out and I colored them. If you look, I colored them with the Always Artichoke and the Cherry Cobbler, and I did that using my re-inkers and my aqua pen because I didn't want it to be real dark. I did the same thing over here. What I did was, there's water in here, so I really diluted the colors, okay? So I colored in my aqua with my aqua pen, and then what I did was I took 2 of our pens. This is the white gel pen, and what I did, if you can see it, I took and I put those skates. This is just to highlight, and it really makes it stand out. I highlighted just the strings on the ice skates. And then I took our new Stampin' Dazzle pen. This is the silver one, and I just colored in the blades on the skate. And it just adds a real nice touch to it. On this particular one, I also added some two-way glue and some Dazzling Diamonds glitter to it. Added a pop dot to the back of it. And added this too, and you want to add it on an angle because that's the way the skates are held, okay? And that gives us this piece right here. Now look at the difference between the two of them with the glitter added. It just makes it absolutely adorable. You're going to add your frame to this, you're going to add your saying to this side right here. And now we're almost done with this card, this Peekaboo window card, okay? The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add our saying to the bottom. And after you do that, we need to add this to the anchor of our card. And this is what I call the anchor of the card. So before you end up doing that, I took and got 18 inches of ribbon and I laid it on my card with the two ends meeting on the side, okay? And I just put a little bit of snail underneath that to hold it temporarily. Lay it down. Now we're going to take and we're going to glue up the rest of the card with our snail and add it to your anchor. And here we have, without all the details done, but here we have, we're going to just tie it in a bow, and here is our very easy, very fun, not complicated Peekaboo window card, okay? So let me just show you again. You tie this over here. You tie this over here. When you open it up, here's your first. So you're getting a card every time you open. And then here is the rest of your card. And it does fit into a regular size envelope. This is the crumb cake envelope that matches. And I just stamped the sled on there, and we are good to go. I hope you enjoyed my post. Take care and have a great day.